Hi guys, Trevor here with Argonaut Wine and Liquor for another Whiskey Wednesday. I'm joined as always by Clay from our liquor department, and today we have Cameron from RNDC and Scott, the founder of Cut Spike Distillery, who's going to tell us a little bit about what we're drinking today.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's another snowy day in Denver.
Right.
I can't think of another thing to do than talk about whiskey when it's snowing out.
Right.
But at any rate, we are based in Omaha, Nebraska. We've been around for a little while. We were founded in 2008, 12 years of making whiskey now. We have three products that we're going to talk to you guys about today. We have a small batch, we have our maple barrel, and we have our cask strength. We have been in several competitions over the years. We won double gold, best single malt in America at the International Wine and Spirits of San Francisco in 2014. We won again in 2016, and we won best of Chicago the year after that, number one single malt in America again. So we've actually been critically reviewed and acclaimed, and so we feel strongly about that. And I guess what we're out here to do today is to try to share it with everybody else and get everybody else on board with what we're doing. So what we're up to is we're manufacturing 100% malted barley single malt made in hand-pounded copper pot stills that we bought from Forsyths in Rothes, Scotland. So we didn't spare any energy, money, or effort on getting the best equipment. We're sourcing our raw materials, our malted barley from northern Minnesota, and some of the best barley that we can find in the United States. We're cutting our whiskeys with deep water aquifer water from Ogallala Aquifer in Nebraska. We have a farmer out there who's pulling water for us. We're using really super fine mineral water for our cut. And ultimately, like I said, what we're trying to do is to build the best American-made single malt. So at any rate, our small batch, which is, like I said, our flagship here, is a pretty straightforward single malt. It's built in sort of a northern Highland style, and if you're talking about Scottish whiskeys, so you're going to get more of the caramel and the butterscotches on the nose. And on the palate.
For sure. You definitely get some of that malty sweetness.
Yeah, a little bit of baked apples and then some butterscotch for sure.
A little bit
Like pecan pie.
I like that pecan pie. Once you start getting that caramel and brown sugar and stuff like that.
But butter smooth too. I mean, just easy drinking. You could get into trouble quick with this one.
Well, we're trying to make it an extremely smooth whiskey that that I would say presents older than it actually is. We're making a 4-year whiskey right now.
Right.
What we have bottled here are 4-year whiskeys, and so you're getting a little more complexity. We're using new charred oak barrels on our single small batch here, and we're taking an extremely narrow cut of the distillate, so you're getting a smoother whiskey. You're not getting a lot of that heat through here and up in your nose.
It definitely tastes older. When we first tried it, before he told us how old it was, I would have thought double digits. You know what I mean? It definitely has that character behind it where, like I said, it presents older than the actual age statement. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got the maple barrel here. Okay, so the maple barrel is really fun, if you ask me. I would say I was initially against the maple barrel idea when my partners presented it. So I want to throw out some shouts to Jason Payne and Mike Cunningham, who are our distillers. They spend a lot of time and energy making this stuff, and they're the ones who really deserve all the credit. But when they presented me with the idea of the maple barrel, I was against it because I didn't want a product that has that's sweet and is made with extracts, and there's some maple products on the market, and they're not true refined whiskeys to me. All right, so they convinced me otherwise. So we were buying maple barrels out of Vermont, and we're doing nothing other than taking our small batch whiskey and we're putting it for a year in a maple barrel. And so what you end up with is a slightly, if you can imagine, even smoother whiskey with just a hint of maple, not really any sweeter. I mean, what do you guys think?
It's a marriage of like
of like a honeycomb with some brown sugar. I mean, it's a
I really love it. So the same thing. This was the one when I was initially looking at them. I was least excited to try it just because I've had some maple whiskey sometimes, and sometimes I feel like they can be heavy-handed and almost taste like they poured maple syrup in the whiskey, and like I said, it just kind of overtakes the whiskey. But then when you tried it, I mean, it's there, but it's subtle. The whiskey is still a star. The maples in the background, it's really fantastic. I really like it. I was very pleasantly surprised. Yeah.
Well, when you barrel age something, right, you don't put any sugar into it. So these are maple syrup barrels from Vermont. So you're talking about tree sap extracted, put directly into barrels, right, for aging process. You're not going to taste all the sugars. You're going to taste the real maple root, right? Like, you're not tasting sugar, you're not tasting additives, you're tasting
the nose is like really great. It's not overly sweet. It's got like a cool, almost kind of herbal thing. And then on the palate, that sweetness definitely comes through. But like I said, it's not overpowering.
It's very subtle.
Yeah.
I mean, we've tried every finish under the sun here at this point, and we've come to expect certain things. But one thing that we really loved about all of your products, and unfortunately we don't have all the finishes yet, was that it was completely different than what I expected. It had more subtlety to it. Everything was very unique, very different. So.
And speaking of finishes, so this portfolio is new to Colorado. Actually, we're their first distributor that they've gone with in the United States, outside of Nebraska.
Yep.
But what we can attest to is we've had a lot of success with limited releases. All of their releases, like Maple Barrel, they have a barrel-aged stout in a cab cask. These are all going to be limited releases that get released throughout the year. So, keep your eyes peeled if you're a fan. Argonaut will definitely let you know when they have it all in stock, I'd imagine.
I think, the small batch and the cask strength will always be on rotation.
Yep.
And then, like the Maple Barrel is currently in stock. It's a rotational. When it's sold out, it's gone until next year. We've got more in barrel right now. And as Cam mentioned, we have a Cask Edition Stout beer barrel aged that's actually just now coming into distribution. We had a Cabernet barrel that was a few months ago that's rotated out. We have a port barrel coming. We have a Peter Chevenez sherry cask coming that we're all crazy excited about.
That one's double the age. It's going to be a little bit more
pricey. You see the smile on my face because I'm definitely a sherry cask whiskey guy, so I love that. And at any rate, we're trying to be creative and bring new products and
be innovative, right?
Be innovative.
Like innovation is key in this market.
Correct, yeah.
So. Next up, I don't know if you guys know, but I like cask strength whiskey. So and then that's gonna be the last one, right?
Yeah, that's what we got for today.
Yeah.
So their cask strength is unbelievably priced as well. I mean, it's very rare that you get a cask strength that's like sub 50. This guy's gonna be like on your lower 40.
$45.99 every day low price. Yeah.
So I mean, you're for that bang for the buck for 110 proof whiskey. This whiskey really is gonna speak volumes for you. I mean, it'll hold up in cocktails. I mean, it's just a fantastic, fruit forward, really balanced whiskey.
It really amplifies that fruit quite a bit, actually, much more than you think.
Yeah, this is. I mean, we're fans of the whole line here, but definitely the cask strength became an instant staff favorite when we tried it. So
I think the reason that when we came together and talked about how to price this is we wanted to bring a cask strength product to the market that would be approachable for everybody. We want to entice people to try it, and the reason is we don't want people to be scared of a cask strength product. It is 110 proof, but it doesn't drink like 110 proof. It's got a lot of oil on the palate. It's like the bigger, bolder, older brother of the small batch, and it is again surprisingly not hot.
Yeah.
It's not. And so when you're
drinks very easy.
Yeah.
The nose, like Clay said, I get like a lot of fruit kind of amplified.
Well, I was just gonna say that. It gets fruity.
Like some orange blossom mixed with like some stone fruit. It's really nice. Yeah.
The palate, I get like, and then I get those sweeter notes on the palate, like burnt brown sugar, really savory, easy drinking, just a great example of what, in my opinion, what cask strength whiskey should be.
Yeah. And what I love about a cask strength whiskey, right, is you don't put anything into it, water, nothing like that. So you really get the oils of the whiskey, And you get the lingering effects, like you get the body, right?
Yeah.
It has a full body, it has a lingering effect, like.
Makes
it's a
that
whiskey.
finish last long because it
Yeah.
really coats your tongue.
And it's not something that like, that you don't wanna drink again, this is a salivating whiskey, you wanna have another drink after you have a drink, you know what I mean? So it's a great whiskey.
I feel like the true test of a great whiskey is, can you drink it neat?
Exactly.
And to be quite honest, I feel like our products drink best when served neat. Honestly,
I agree.
they hold up. They're not too hot. You don't need water. You don't really need ice to make them drinkable. And the one thing that I've kind of said to people, and of course I'm biased because I'm involved in this business, but I have a large collection of great whiskeys. And when I go to my liquor cabinet, I think about this whiskey a lot, and it's one that I want to go back to. It kind of sticks with you. Like,
Yeah.
once you have it, and your palate gets kind of maybe like a palate memory, right?
Right.
Once you start memorizing what this tastes like, you kind of crave it. You want it again.
Yeah.
And I find myself wanting it repeatedly.
Right.
Even though I got a bunch of fantastic whiskeys, which I try to rotate, but
Yeah.
it is a product that I think once you test and try and settle in on, you're gonna want it again.
Yeah. Well, and the nice thing is, you guys have the opportunity to try it in store on Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. We'll be pouring these 3, so you guys can come in and try them for yourselves. You don't have to take our word for it. Great prices on these. Everyday low price, $36.99 on the small batch, $45.99 on the maple, and $45.99 on the cask strength. So come see us on Friday, guys, and try it out for yourself. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Cheers.